Welcome back to another video, guys. It's been quite a while, but we are back. So today I am going to be going lithium in the old 80 series, and I have a LiTime 100 amp hour group 24 lithium battery here with Bluetooth monitoring. So I'm going to do a bit of an unboxing here today, and I'll show you what's in the box and we'll go through it all, and we'll see how well it's packaged. We'll put it on charge to wake it up, and then we'll get back to fitting it up and testing it out. Get into the box here. So first things first is we have an instruction manual and all your paperwork here. So I will go through and check that out. Next thing in the box is the battery post bolts, washers and caps. So that's another one here. And we have the battery itself. So I'll get the battery out and I'll put it up here. Before we get into the batteries, just going to go through the paperwork here, which is pretty handy. So you have a full booklet on your battery, where to download the app, all your safety instructions with it, charging methods, etc, etc. So this is really handy bit of information. Gives you all your dimensions, your temperature range for the battery for operation, that type of thing. So that's handy. Next up was just a bit of a thank you, and shows some more of their products that they have here in the actual booklet itself, and what applications you could use this for. Even if you want to do a home solar system, you could do it with that, so that's pretty cool. Service card and the quick start guide here. So pretty much says operation guide, and it ships with 30 to 50% capacity, so you do need to fully charge it before use. And there is some setup diagrams and things on the back of that there as well. And then of course you get a sticker sheet. Now I'm not a massive fan of stickers, but I'll probably run, say, this one, providing that it works well for me and does what it's meant to do. I am allowed to give an honest review, and I'll be doing just that after some testing. So we get back to the battery. I'll have to install the posts, I'll get it charging, and then we'll come back when it's fully charged, and I will put it in the cruiser. Now, I did ask them if I could install this under the bonnet behind my heat shield. I've got a heat shield around my AGM battery and it doesn't get hot there. They said, yeah, sure, it should be fine under the bonnet. I do not recommend trying this at home. If you overheat these things, the BMS will switch off and then you're gonna have no power at all. So this is purely for my entertainment purposes and testing to see if this will work. My AGM has performed flawlessly under the bonnet in the same spot for three years or so. So yeah, we'll see how we go with this. I'll get it charging and then we'll come back later today and test out all the voltages and everything. Now I've hooked the charger up and it's all running. I have a little bit of a slight issue with the BMS not kicking in, so I just had to put it to power supply mode to get it to wake the BMS up and then switch over to lithium mode. So if you do have the issue with this battery, just make sure that you go and put it on power supply mode first for about 30-40 seconds. Should be enough to wake it up. Then switch over to the lithium mode on your charger. So you will need a lithium charger for this. You cannot use a lead acid charger or anything like that because there's just not a suitable charging profile for these batteries. Everything works so far, and just wait on this to charge. Just a couple of hours for it to charge now, and then we should be good to go to install it and give it a good test. Alright guys, the lithium battery is charged overnight. Next will be to disconnect the positive terminal on here and hop inside the car, change the profile from the DC charger to the lithium profile so I can charge this battery correctly. You don't want to be using a battery isolator for this. And then I'll fit the lithium battery and we'll be up for testing and going on a trip. battery is out, and I'm popping the LiTime 12 volt 100 amp hour group 24 Bluetooth battery right in there. Heaps of room, like a lot of room. Almost too small for it, but battery bank will do fine. Plenty of space in here. Now, as I said earlier in the video, I'm testing this for entertainment purposes. You generally don't put a lithium battery under the bonnet, but I will be able to monitor temperatures and that type of thing. So keep that in mind while I lock this down. If it works well, then it works well. So definitely not going anywhere. Alright, that's all tightened down. Now, you don't have to run these, but I'm going to run the little caps just because I can. And it looks nice and neat. Alright, I'll now check inside the car, see if it's all running. Let's see. Turn on the display. Don't know how good this is going to be. There we are. We're putting in 50 watts of solar into the Intervolt DCC Pro, which is charging the lithium battery. That's good. It's all charging very well, which is fine. Not a problem there. And we'll check the phone app here. Phone app says it's charging. Cells are balanced, everything's good. If we scroll the app, if it will let me do it, and also gives you the temperature of the battery here and how many times you've cycled it. Alright guys, all fitted up and installed. The DC charger has now topped that battery up from 99% to 100% and has switched off the charging for it, so it doesn't overcharge, which is really good. Temperature is 21 degrees. Fridge is still running from what I can see on the app. No problems there. Yeah, what else do I need to tell you? It's 21 degrees outside, 26 today. So that shouldn't be an issue with it. I've just got it running here with the bonnet up at the moment, just to make sure it's all working correctly before I do anything. I'm definitely interested to see how it goes. Trip's coming up shortly, so I'll do a lot more testing on that and see how it goes with just running off solar, parked up for a few days. I don't think I'm going to have an issue, to be honest, not with that and the camp lights. So we'll keep that going, and I'll be with you very shortly when you see me on the trip. I've been testing this battery for about the last 2 weeks, and it's been really good actually. It's worked really well. So I'll just dive into it now and show you where I've got it mounted and how it all works. So on here, I am mounted in the engine bay. Now, unless you have a heat shield, I do not recommend mounting this. Mount it inside your vehicle. This was for my entertainment purposes only. So mine gets a bit of fresh air coming in through the headlight area to cool the battery down. So I'll just chuck a screenshot up now. So if you have a look on the phone, you'll see here that I was getting 52 degrees out of it while driving along on like a 40-degree day, which is really good. It is rated to 50 degrees on charge, so it still kept charging, not a problem. Driving now, it's at about 26 degrees, and today is a 30-degree day. So let's have a look now. 27 degrees on a 30-degree day, and that's with the bonnet down and driving, so that's pretty good too. Now they say like discharge rates 0 to 60 degrees, so it was discharging fine. It would handle that. Yeah, so overall, really impressed with how this battery has performed. Even with the fridge and freezer running, I would lose, on a really hot day with it constantly cycling, I'd lose 20% capacity overnight, but that would be charged up fully the next day by the time the sun sets. So that's not a problem with this, running with my 170 watt solar panel. With just the fridge running, I would lose 12% overnight. So that's always something to consider when you're looking at a lithium battery, is that this is way better and performs way better than an AGM. All right guys, I've pulled the battery out and we're going to go over some specs here on it, and I'll give you my final thoughts on the battery. So it is a LiFePro 4 100 amp hour lithium smart edition battery with a Bluetooth monitor on it. So you get an app for your phone and you can monitor it that way. Takes a 500 amp at 1 second at peak discharge current. Dimensions are 260 by 168 by 211 millimeters. So it's quite a small form factor, being that it's a Group 24 battery. That's the idea of it. It is IP65 rated, so if you're looking at doing water crossings, not a good idea to put this one under the bonnet. Temperature range, charge is 0 to 50 degrees Celsius. I had it at 52 degrees, not an issue with that one. Discharge is minus 20 to 60 degrees Celsius, so again, not an issue with that either. Storage is minus 10 to 50 degrees. Now, doesn't get to 50 degrees in Australia here. And obviously I had it at 52 degrees, but it cooled down, so it wasn't a problem there. There's a low temperature charging protection function as well on the battery, and it will resume charging at 5 degrees Celsius. So if you're in an area that is quite a cold climate, which you only have that in the Alpine region in Australia in winter, you should be fine there. Now, on the back of the battery, it's got a few do nots on it. So I'll just read them out to you. It says, don't open, disassemble or modify the battery. Puncture, drop, crush, burn, penetrate, shake or strike the battery. Now this is the good one here. Heat the battery above 70 degrees Celsius. Now I said I had it at 52, so that was fine. Not a problem. Don't expose metal terminals or connectors, or touch the exposed electrolyte or powder if the battery casing is damaged. Now on the back here as well, there is an email address if you do have any questions to send to LiTime themselves. And there is a QR code as well to view an installation guide on it. Now, my final thoughts on this battery. This has been excellent for me. 100%. Where my AGM, I would drop maybe 30% with the fridge freezer running. And obviously, you know, a 100 amp hour AGM, you're going to get 50 amp hours use. Now this I dropped 20 amp hours overnight with the fridge freezer in really hot conditions. So it's constantly cycling. So obviously that's going to be a better performance in a colder climate and on a more mild day. So this was at the extremes. That's like 38 degrees, somewhere around there. It was a day that I was out and it was fairly warm overnight, 15, 20 overnight. So yeah, it's constantly cycling. During the day, it's even worse. Your fridge is on 24/7. So that was really good for me. What else can I tell you about this one? Charging on this one as well. Just quickly, I'll go over that in the manual here. So they recommend 400 watts of solar. If you completely discharge it, it's going to take 4.5 hours to charge on 400 watts of solar. And it says it recommends your charging current is 20 amps. Now I was on 25 amps, so they reckon the battery will be fully charged in around 5 hours to 100% capacity on a 20 amp charger. This is obviously in ideal conditions as well. The 50 amp charger, it says it will be fully charged in around 2 hours to 97% capacity. Now you do need a LiFePro 4 charging profile on your DC charger and on your 240 volt home charger as well. So if you're not using it consistently, recharge it every 3 months. Everything else is in the product manual here. Now for you guys, I have a bit of a deal for you. It is in the way of an affiliate link and a 5% discount. I'll put the discount code on the screen down here now. Put the link in the description and I'll pin it in the comments. If you want to head over, check out the batteries and you get your 5% off over there. Good deal for you guys. I get a little bit of a kickback from it, but it's at no extra cost to you guys. I just like to promote a good product when I see it, as I've had 16 years in the automotive parts industry and a good 2 to 3 years in the warranties. I know a good product when I see it, and I'm 100% honestly saying that this is a good product and you should get one. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll answer them down there. As always guys, thanks for watching and sticking with me on this one. Have a good one and I'll catch you in the next video.